Okay, Warden. All righty, man. Great. Thank you very much there. Thank you very much, Kyle. Everybody, that's Kyle, and that's Kyle. Kyle's the guy that makes sure I'm recording and everything. Woo! I'm almost saying that we're looking good here. You guys can definitely see me. We got the lights going and everything. Anyways, my name is Thomas W. Timbrooks, and I'm running for the United States House of Representatives. I want to represent Oregon's 6th Congressional District for the Republican Party. Now, my whole idea here is I want to make Oregon's 6th Congressional District America's greatest congressional district. And see, I told you, I wrote it twice. It's such a good idea, I put it down twice. So, here's what I want to talk about today. First, I'm going to try to introduce it a little bit, okay? Try to introduce it. So, what's been happening lately is you have a lot of people in America. Oh, by the way, overalls today, okay? Now, you have seen me in my flowery shirt, and you've seen me with the suspenders. The flowery shirt that's one level of I don't care about what the world thinks about me. The suspenders, that's an elevated level of I don't care about what the world thinks of me. Overalls, that's just basically I'm giving up. You know, whatever you think about me, that's whatever. I don't care, man. See, if I do make it to Washington, D.C., I want to be able to hang out with John Fetterman, because he's gonna wear his formal sweats, and I'm gonna wear my formal overalls. And we'll be like the dynamic duo, Batman and Superman, or the Joker and Aquaman, or something like that. I don't remember. I'm not too much with superhero figures and everything. I never really collected action figures when I was a kid. I had some G.I. Joes. Spent most of my time throwing them off the roof, though. Yeah, my house was a place where toys came to die. I was like, if you ever watched Toy Story, the kid that took all of his toys and trashed them and everything, I identified with him, man. I thought that kid's cool, man. I'm gonna be like him when I grow up. Anyways, man. So here's what's going on. Now, everybody has seen in Minneapolis there, and Minnesota, and throughout the United States. Different people are, saying different things. The conservatives are saying, "Oh, we got to get rid of these people. These people are terrible. This, that, and the other is terrible. All this terrible." And then the Democrats are saying, "Oh no, you're terrible." Blah blah blah, or everything. So I want to take a realistic perspective of that. And my whole reason for making these videos is so that, and I realize not many people are watching them right now. This is for future Tom, okay? Future Tom is going to have these videos ready for whenever the election process is going on, okay? And that's going to be, sometime later this year. This is 2026 now, but it's still January 2026. We've got many months to go. And in fact, one of the things, there's a television station out here in Portland, and they're going to invite all the potential candidates on to the show so that the candidates can talk about, hey, what is it about you that makes you better than the competition and everything, right? So not many people are watching my videos now. At some point in the future, they will be, and so these videos are all made for future Tom, for the future audience, for the future potential voters, and they're going to watch these videos, and they're going to think, why should I vote for this person? And the reason I want you to vote for me is, I got that microphone. Is it showing? Oh, it's on this side. See, this side is my left side. This side's my right side. It's kind of weird. I'm looking at a monitor right now. It's weird. It's crazy. So I've said this before. Who you are, what you are. Two different things. I'm going to put this down before I spill it on myself. Who you are, what you are is everything about yourself that can be commoditized. If you're a doctor, you heal the sick. If you're an architect, you create buildings. If you're an entertainer, you render the boundary between fantasy and reality transparent. Okay, that's what you are. What you are is everything about yourself that you can be paid for, that can be commoditized. Who you are is everything about yourself that cannot be commoditized. And who you are is really unimportant for the political race. What you are is important for the political race because, you know, who you are, like I say, who you are is stuff that can't really be used in the world of politics. What you are can be. If you want somebody who is going to improve the district, improve the economic state of the district, is going to bring jobs to the district, is going to bring prosperity to the district, then you want somebody who has built up what they are. Now me, what I am is I am an engineer. I'm a manufacturing engineer. I've said this before, I'll say it again. As a manufacturing engineer, I understand the whole manufacturing field. I understand profitability margins, minimum annual rate of return, ROI, return on investment, and so forth. These are all things that a person needs to understand in order to improve the prosperity of any given place, of any given economic dynamic anywhere. I am very familiar with all of the amazing things that are happening in Oregon's 6th Congressional District. We have robot manufacturers, we have drone manufacturers, we have all these wonderful, amazing manufacturers. Presently, I am working at a place in McMinnville, and this place, it's a really great place to work, and we make things that go on airplanes. And it's enjoyable. The thing I like about it, it's 5 minutes away from work. I get into the car, I start up the car. Before the car even warms up completely, I'm in the parking lot of the place, and I walk in there, everybody's pleasant, it's a terrific environment, and I really like working there. It's a really nice place. So, I'm very familiar with all of the stuff within McMinnville that if somebody with vision, manufacturing vision, were to have a financial or a political place, then federal money could be diverted to Oregon so that jobs could be created and so that the prosperity of the 6th Congressional District could be enhanced, could be improved. And that's not like insider trading or anything like that. That is the whole function of the representative. The representative is supposed to go to Washington, D.C. and represent the community that the representative is from. So basically, what the representative is going to do is say, look, this is an important thing for America's future. And if we get federal tax money over, federal funds, federal dollars over to our congressional district, we can build this stuff up, and our building this stuff up in our congressional district will benefit America as a whole. All right? And that's part of the preamble to the Constitution, promote the general welfare. Promoting the general welfare means taking federal funds and investing those federal funds into a project or an idea that will benefit the general population. Okay, so there are many things in Oregon's 6th Congressional District where, if they receive federal funding, can benefit America collectively. And as a manufacturing engineer, I am able to see those things. Okay, now that is what I am. What I am is the person who can focus on getting federal funding to Oregon's 6th Congressional District so that our 6th Congressional District can have economic prosperity, and with that economic prosperity, benefit America as a whole. Who I am shouldn't matter at all. The problem is that politics, getting to Washington, D.C. is all about campaigning. And campaigning is done by professional marketing groups. And professional marketing groups tend to concentrate on who you are over what you are. And you'll see this all the time. Elon Musk. I mean, if we concentrated on Elon Musk, on what Elon Musk is, brilliant industrialist, brilliant financial person, a brilliant entrepreneur, honest person, and he actually went to work for the federal government for free. He didn't charge anything to the federal government, and he saved America $130 billion, probably more than $130 billion. Okay, so that's what Elon Musk is. But the marketing people figured out a marketing strategy saying, all right, we're going to destroy Elon Musk by focusing on who he is. Okay, who is Elon Musk? Well, he's the world's richest man. And I don't know how people make that into an insult, but yeah, I forgot to turn off my phone again. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I got to turn off the volume here because, yeah. And there we go. Okay, like I said, they're concentrating on who Elon Musk is. Who is Elon Musk? And they're saying, well, he's a Nazi. He's a psychopath. He is, mentally disturbed, deranged, crazy person, and all that stuff. And that's not really true, but it doesn't have to be true. If marketing people get a hold of you, they're going to concentrate on who you are, and they're going to completely forget about any benefit to what you are. And you see, that's why I'm making these videos. I want you to understand, as a voter, the person you want in Washington, D.C. is the person that brings something, the what they are, what that person is, the person you want to send to Washington, D.C. to represent you. Focus on what that person is. What can that person do to help our congressional district? Okay? And so this is something that's going to lead me to my presentation today, how marketing and how memes and so forth concentrate on who a person is rather than what a person is, and how we can avoid that cognitive bias. It's called a cognitive bias. It's what your mind naturally, your brain is structured in a way it was structured a million years ago. Okay, the brain that you have in your head right now, the structuring began like a million years ago, and everything about your brain is structured in a way that it was at one time where you had to survive. Your brain needed to think this way in order to survive. Cognitive biases 100,000 years ago were important for survival. And the reason for that is because it's better to be cautious and survive than it is to be curious and be some animal's dinner. The things that were overly cautious, our ancestors that were overly cautious because of their cognitive biases, those are the ones that survived. The ones that didn't have the cognitive biases, the ones that just, were kind of casual and, whatever, they didn't survive. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today, is the cognitive biases, how they're created, how they're fed, how they're developed, and how marketing actually causes this to happen. And, I'm not going to say anybody's wrong or anybody's right. I'm just going to say this is not, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, this is human behavior. it helped us to survive 1,000,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, and it may help us survive in the future where I don't know, maybe there's a zombie apocalypse going to come up or something like that. These cognitive biases that helped us 10,000 years ago, to survive 10,000 years ago, they may help us survive in the future during the zombie apocalypse. Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying, it's not good, it's not bad, it's a feature. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's human nature, just the fact that it's human nature, okay? So let me show you some of the stuff now. The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubt while the stupid people are full of confidence, okay? And everybody has seen this, and we got Charles Bukowski. Charles Bukowski. I mean, doesn't that name just sound like it's so official? I am Charles Bukowski. I am sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of exactly how awesome I am. Okay, Charles Bukowski and everything, right? So yeah, people are going, oh, well, Charles Bukowski said that. It's not like, well, Billy Ray over at the filling station said it. Who's going to listen to Billy Ray? Nobody. But Charles Bukowski, yeah, they're going to listen to that guy, right? So, yeah, and here's another thing. It says the problem with the world is that, and you know what? The world has more than one problem. Okay, the world's got a lot of problems. And we can't. It's sort of a whack-a-mole thing. You deal with one problem, something else happens like that. And here, okay, this guy is he's lining up. There is a problem, but no solution. Okay, I mean, what are we going to do? The intelligent people are full of doubt while the stupid people are full of confidence. Okay, what are we supposed to do? How do we fix that problem? I don't know. But you see, this is a meme, and it's created to put you in a specific state of mind, okay? The melancholy thing about the world is that it is full of stupid people, and the world is run for the benefit of the stupid and common. And, I want to kind of punch this guy in the face who said this, man, because, here's the thing, man. It's like, okay, stupid people. I mean, what is stupid exactly? Because I've known some people who weren't rocket scientists, but they were perfectly decent people. The guy over at the Blue Moon, Napoleon, he's the guy that works. He's the cook over at the Blue Moon. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's not a rocket scientist. He's not a brain surgeon. He's a cook over at the Blue Moon. He's a great guy. I like him. Is he one of the stupid people you're talking about? Because you know what? Up yours. That's just really rude and messed up. And there's a lot of people out there. I'm not even going to call them stupid. I'm going to say they are not exceptional. Okay, exceptional people are the exception. 9 out of 10 people, maybe 95 people out of 100 are not exceptional. Okay. If you're an exceptional person, great, fantastic. You're still going to get your cheeseburger from Napoleon. So, I mean, great, you're exceptional, whatever. I'm not gonna like praise you for being exceptional. It's just the way you were made by nature. I mean, your gene pool went through a different evolutionary process than everybody else's. Congratulations. Okay. Sometimes I wonder whether the world is being run by smart people who are putting us on or by imbeciles who really mean it. And yeah, this is another thing, see? And smart people who are putting us on, imbeciles who really mean it. And this sounds kind of like something Mark Twain would say. Mark Twain, I think he said something one time, it's not what we don't know that causes problems, it's the things that we absolutely know, we're absolutely certain are true. Those are the things that cause problems. And he's right, yeah, those things do cause problems. They can cause problems. So, that's the thing. And that, once again, that's just human nature. Okay, I mean, human beings existed for a very long time before computers, before jet airplanes, before spaceships and charged particle accelerators and so forth. And, if you were to take away all those things, I mean, stupid people would look at smart people, unexceptional people would look at exceptional people and think, those people are exceptional, but damn, they're lazy. The unexceptional people who do all the work, they've been working their whole lives and everything, they're going to look at the exceptional people and think, well, I mean, what good do they actually do for our civilization, and they're going to start looking bad at the exceptional people. So, the whole idea of being exceptional, it changes from year to year, decade to decade, eon to eon. What was exceptional 10,000 years ago may not be exceptional right now. And what was exceptional 1,000 years ago, 1,000 years from now, we may need those people again. So I don't want to poop on anybody for their exceptionalism or their non-exceptionalism or whatever. I think, you are the result of 4.5 billion years of natural selection. That's as long as the Earth has been around. And most scientists will agree that natural selection started a long time, about when the Earth was created, about 4.5 billion years ago. But even if not, let's say 3 billion years of natural selection or whatever, you're the result of that. And I like to think that, natural selection does not allow for garbage to survive. The stuff that wasn't meant to survive, it dies off. That's the whole concept of natural selection. All right? And, so what's important now may or may not be important later. So I'm not going to say, hey, these people are stupid, these people are imbeciles, these people are great, these people are bad, or whatever. We're all one group of people. We all have a strength. We all have an aptitude. We all have something. Each of us has something that makes us special. Okay? Me, I have a pocket watch and on a chain. And that doesn't really make me special, but it makes me awesome. Anyways, so okay, let's go back on here now. Okay, so critical thinking, memes, and the role of government. Why believing you're exceptional can undermine good intentions. So this is the meme phenomenon. Social media is full of memes claiming stupid people are running the world, and the confident are foolish, the intelligent full of doubt. These ideas feel true, and that's why they spread. An immediate question, if the world is so full of stupid people, why does everyone believe they are the exception? It's a statistical impossibility. In every audience, most people believe they are above average. Almost no one believes they are below average, and this can't be true. See, this is what you call a standard distribution curve. And you see up there on the right side, that is the exceptional 2.5%. Most statisticians, when they're talking about humans, they talk about the top 5 to 10% of people, which means 95 to 90%, 90% to 95% of the people out there are not exceptional. And, who cares? Who cares? So what I was talking about before, if you, this experiment's been done a bunch of times. A person will stand up in front of an audience and tell the audience, hey, audience, if the whole world of drivers, if every driver in America, if the only people we're talking about is people in this audience, okay? In this audience, there is a best driver. In this audience, there's a worst driver, okay? And most of the audience, 90% of the audience would be in the middle, where we have, or 95% of the audience would be in the middle, where you're an average driver. Okay, so tell me, audience, how many of you think you're an exceptional driver and you're in the top 5% of the audience, of the 100 people in the audience? How many of you are the top 5% of drivers just in the audience? Everybody in the audience claps their hands, okay? Okay, well, how many of you believe you are below average? Nobody claps their hands. Well, how many of you believe that you're in the unexceptional 95%? Nobody claps their hands. Okay, it's statistically impossible. It is statistically impossible for 5% of the people to be 100%, 100% of the people to be in the top 5% of any audience. But you see, people believe that, and you believe that. I mean, you're thinking right now, well, I'm an above average driver. Okay, let's think about this now. These people in NASCAR and Formula One and like that, these people could drive 200 miles an hour 3 inches away from like 9 other drivers. Okay, you got 1 driver here, there's 3 up here, 2 over here, 3 back there. That's 8 drivers, okay? This 1 driver is surrounded by 8 drivers, and they are all going 200 miles an hour, and they can do that for like a couple of hours without crashing into each other. I can't do that in my Kia Soul, okay? If I was doing, I'm telling you this right now, I would crash into one of those guys because I would be driving and I'd be like, turn the heater down a little bit, defrost. Why is that eco? Oh, not crash into him, okay? That's just, I am not one of them. Those people are professional drivers, and I guarantee none of you out there is a professional driver for NASCAR or Formula One. Maybe a couple of you watching might be, but most people are average drivers. You know, you're a little bit above or a little bit below average, but you are certainly not in the top 5%. Most people are not in the bottom 5%. Most of those people have had their licenses taken, okay? So this is a cognitive bias, a thinking fallacy that we all share. And like I said, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It is a feature of human behavior. It is a feature of our little brain here. We all believe that we are better than we really are. It's just the way we think. Okay, it's part of human nature to be like that. So it doesn't mean that you're stupid. It just means that you're human. Okay, so anyways, yep, there's our friend again. This is the better than average effect, a documented psychological bias where people overestimate their own competence. People underestimate the competence of others. Confidence feels like intelligence, okay? Exceptional people are rare. Exceptional people are called exceptional for a reason. They represent roughly 5% to 10% of the population. Unexceptional people outnumber them 9 to 1. This is not an insult, it's just math. Like I said, there can only be so many NASCAR drivers, there can only be so many billionaires, there can only be so many genius nuclear physicists, Einsteins in the world, okay? So why the world feels broken. We expect exceptional outcomes from statistically average systems. The mismatch creates frustration. Now, am I running out of battery here or something? No, this thing just jumps on me. Intelligence versus due diligence. As an engineer, remember me, I'm an engineer, okay? You can trust me, I'm an engineer. That's kind of like on that TV show, Doctor Who. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I've never played a doctor on television either, but you know, sometimes I lie to people and tell them I did play a doctor on television. I'm just kidding. I've never lied in my entire life. Intelligence versus due diligence. As an engineer, intelligence is not the issue. Failure to perform due diligence is the issue. The real problem is action without asking why. And human nature, humans are emotional first and logical second. This is biology. It is not a flaw, okay? And so The reason we don't perform due diligence is because, like it said, we are emotional creatures that think logically. Okay, we're gonna do something emotionally, and this is actually, 10,000 years ago, a million years ago, like this was extremely important, because if you look at like impala, gazelle, elk, deer, all these animals out there that are prey animals, that the predators prey on these animals and eat them. The only important thing for them is to be faster than the herd. The fastest individuals in the herd do not get consumed. Well, humans are not faster than the predators. In fact, the very first humans a long time ago, they were eaten all the time. They got eaten a lot. There were a lot of humans that got consumed by every kind of predator that exists. If you were a predator on the African savanna, you were like, hey, I'm going to have to run after those impala, but I can just sneak up on that human. I think I'm going to go eat me a human. Yeah. And you see, humans, our strength was grouping together and fighting off the predator. So see what the impala and gazelle and elk and deer and like that, what they would do is they would say, oh, a youngling is going to get consumed by a lion. Well, that gives us an opportunity to escape, right? But what early humans would do is an early human would be like, hey, that panther is sneaking up on my child. I'm going to go over there with a stick and chase off the panther, which is incredibly stupid. Okay, you are a human being with a stick, and you are going up against a killing machine. And you're probably going to end up dead, but you're going to do it anyway. Okay, and that's just because we are emotional creatures. Humans are emotional creatures, and that's how we survive, is by being emotional first and logical second. It is not a bug, it's a feature of human behavior. So don't ever think of yourself as stupid for acting emotionally first and thinking logically afterwards. You are a human because you think emotionally first. If you look in history, it's like these people who think logically all the time, these are people that nobody wants to be around. Yeah, it's like the professor on Gilligan's Island. He never got together with Ginger, although Ginger was hot for the guy, but he's just like, the capital of North Dakota is Bismarck. Yeah, and it's like, well, that's cool, Professor, but Ginger, come on, man. So never consider yourself to be stupid or worthless or bad because you are emotional first and logical second. If anything, it makes you a better human. It's not a flaw, it is a feature. It is a feature of human nature, and without it, humans could never have survived. Okay, so just understand, it's good to be emotional, it's good to be logical, but logical second, emotional first, okay? And so anyways, let's get on with this. Emotional first, logical second. It's biology, not a flaw. Emotion versus critical thinking. Emotional thinking makes us human. Critical thinking solves problems. Confusing the two creates unintended consequences. And this is what the three minds. You have the rational mind, the emotional mind, and somewhere between the irrational and emotional mind, you have the wise mind. Okay? And the rational mind, the decisions are based on what makes intellectual sense, thinks logically and focused on facts, compares current experiences to past experiences, suppresses or ignores emotions. The emotional mind's decisions are based on what feels good, thinks and focuses on emotions, reactive and or defensive. It often opposes the rational mind. And this is where you've got conservatives and liberals together. Well, somewhere between the emotional and the rational mind, you have the wise mind. You strike a balance between rational and emotional minds. You're living mindfully. You're honoring and nurturing the emotional mind while trying to act act rationally. And you see, this is the balance. This is where understanding, having an understanding, and this is part of what I am, again. And as an engineer, one of the things, a project manager and a manufacturing engineer, one of the things you have to understand is the weak link in the chain is always going to be the people. You can't get rid of the people. You don't want to get rid of the people. You see, people are your best asset, because when it comes to any kind of tool, like let's say you got a robot. Okay, you got Mr. Robbie the robot walking around, and Robbie the robot does this thing and like that, right? You still need people around, because the robot is going to break down. And you're not, the robot's not going to understand that it broke down. You, a human being, you're going to understand you broke down. You might have, let's say you have 5 robots, and you as a human being control the 5 robots. So you, the human being, you're doing 5 times the work because you've got 5 machines working for you. Okay? We still need a human. So when it comes to manufacturing, I have never considered advancements in technology to be a good reason to let people go. I have always considered advancements in technology to be the best possible reason to keep people and to keep training them. Because if you have a person who shows up every day for work at the same time, takes breaks at the correct time, does all the stuff, that is a person you want to keep in your company. That is a person who values your company's time, your company's agenda. That's a person you want to keep. And so if bringing robots in to help that person to accomplish more, I mean, that's a good thing, because that person is going to keep the job and is going to accomplish more because of the robots, and that person is probably going to be able to train somebody later to take the job and all that. And so technology is a benefit. It's a good thing, and it helps out people to do more of the same job. So it increases the efficiency, it reduces overall costs, and it helps a corporation to keep its doors open. So technology is a good thing. Keeping people is a good thing. And this is where, see, the rational mind and the emotional mind come together. Is that the emotional mind is going to be thinking, oh, technology, you want to get rid of people. And I'm going to be thinking, the rational mind is going to be thinking, ooh, technology, reduce costs and improve quality. The wise mind is where I want to bring the rational and the emotional mind together, so each mind can understand the whole purpose of technology is to help people to accomplish more with less effort. Now, you're not going to be replaced. You don't have to have a PhD in nuclear whatever in order to do this job. In fact, a high school degree, as long as you can read and write, and as long as you show up on time, that's terrific. But my entire experience in the manufacturing field has always been improvements in technology make the work easier for the people who are working there. And this last place I worked at the Intel factory up in Aloha, Oregon there, and having been in the semiconductor industry since 1988, I will tell you, the improvements in technology have not been responsible for anybody losing their job. In fact, improvements in technology have been the reason that more people work. And the fact that America is driving these improvements in technology, that's a benefit for Americans. And me as a manufacturing engineer, I know how to bring those jobs to Oregon. Okay, so that's, anytime you think about technology, don't think about getting rid of people. Think about making your job easier, and in fact, bringing more people in with the jobs. Okay, so that's what that means. The role of emotion. It motivates action, it creates meaning, builds identity. Emotion is necessary but insufficient. Critical thinking evaluates outcomes, tests assumptions, identifies trade-offs. Critical thinking governs consequences. Marketing science. Marketing works by triggering emotions, simplifying narratives, creating us versus them divisions. This is not accidental. Okay? The mind and marketing. Okay? And what I was just talking about a minute ago was you have the rational mind, you have the emotional mind. My job is to bring them together to the wise mind, so that the rational and the emotional are both bringing together into the wise mind. What marketing wants to do is marketing wants to take the people who are here in the wise mind and pull them back out to the emotional. And that's what these memes do. Memes pull people away from their wise mind and into the emotional mind, so that they start making decisions emotionally rather than logically. Okay, and that's just, marketing takes advantage of human nature and causes people to act in a predictably emotional way. Now, once again, that's not a flaw in marketing. It's not evil. Marketing is not evil. The whole purpose of marketing is to increase the demand for a consumer good. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm going to come to something on that here now. Okay. The role of marketing: identify customers, understand the customer wants and needs, identify whom to target and how to reach them, satisfy the customers, make the right product or service available to the right people at the right time, make everyone feel better off from the exchange, and then retain the customers, give customers a reason to keep coming back, find new opportunities to win their business. Now, who are these customers? Because I'll tell you right now, it's like I said there on the bottom part, you are the product. You are the product. All you little hippies who go out on the street with your cardboard signs saying, "End the fascism, ICE is bad, deport Elon Musk," you are the product. Marketing is geared towards helping either one side or the other to get people like yourself to do the work for them. You are the product. And I'm not just talking about Democrats or liberals. I'm talking about Republicans and conservatives also. Because I have seen a lot of memes that conservatives put out that I disagree with completely. There are a lot of conservatives out there who are absolutely terrified of the Islamic faith. And I put this video out a while ago. There is no reason to be terrified of Islam. The Islamic faith, Muslims, and that's the way it is. Islam is the religion. Muslims are the people who follow the religion, the religious principles. Look at Iran right now. Iran has a government that is radically Islam, and the people of Iran hate it. They love their religion. They love being Muslims. They love the Church of Islam. And it's a wonderful religion. It's a beautiful, wonderful religion. What they hate is the radical Islamists. They don't like having to wear the hijab. If you want to wear a hijab, if you want to wear a burqa, wear it. Have a good time. But when the government comes out and says, if you don't do it, you will be beaten in the street, that's bad. And you see, the people who want the memes out there, the people who want the radical, crazy people working for them, they are the customer for marketing. Marketing serves their needs. You are the product. The people in the streets who support radical Islam, they are the product. They are the people who are being consumed by the political machine. It's the same way everywhere. Everywhere in the world where there are politicians and politics, the marketing people are there to create, to pull you away from the wise mind and over to the emotional side. They want you to think emotionally, because when you think emotionally, you think in a way that they want you to think. You commit to their agenda. And you see, you don't want to waste your life committing to someone else's agenda. You've got your own agenda. You've got things to do. You've got people to meet, places to go. You climb a mountain, eat extra buttered popcorn, go see a movie, that kind of stuff, okay? And so as the type of person I am, as a leader, as an engineer, as a manager, I am the kind of person who tries to bring people to the wise mind. I mean, yes, logic is fine, emotion is great, makes us human, but if we want to have decisions made, we need the wise mind. And so I avoid the marketing things, I avoid the memes, I avoid all this propaganda and everything, and I say, let's look at things logically, let's look at things rationally, let's use our wise mind, bring it together for the wise mind, okay? And so that's something you need to understand about me. If you choose to vote for me, you're voting for me because I am the kind of person who understands the value of bringing the emotional and the rational mind together to the wise mind, okay? And avoiding these memes, that's a very important step in avoiding the marketing and the cognitive biases and all that stuff, okay? So, like I said, you are the product of the marketers. Memes are marketing tools. Memes are emotionally efficient, argument-free, highly divisive. They move people without informing them. And the division that they create enables control. Once people are divided, each group can be guided, each group feels morally superior. Critical thinking declines. Critical thinking is very important. Belief in being exceptional. When people believe they're exceptional, they trust emotion over analysis. They skip due diligence. They commit quickly to agendas. Oh. Water. I need water. Just like this guy. We've all seen this old guy. I'm done defending Somali fraudsters. This week I'm defending Nicolas Maduro. And this is, like I said, this is one of the things that marketing does. Marketing gets people to commit to an agenda that it may not make sense. Next year it may not make sense. But this is what marketing does. It gets you the product. You are the product. You are not the consumer, you are the product. These people are creating a product that the consumer, the politician, is going to utilize. So that's why the politician goes through the marketing, is because the marketing people are going to create the product, which is you, the people who are in your emotional state to commit to an agenda that you may not actually commit to if you were in your wise mind, okay? So that's something, like I said, you got to watch out for. Activism without due diligence. Good intentions do not guarantee good outcomes. Intent and consequences are not the same. Now, we got ICE, of course, and I've talked about ICE before. I think they're great. I think they're necessary. I think they're doing a terrific job. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is a lawful government agency. It has defined legal mandate, is currently prioritizing criminal offenders. They are working within the Constitution. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Interference with enforcement. When activists impede enforcement, outcomes still occur so that they're not getting what they want done. Criminal elements may be protected. So, hey, you're living around a bunch of criminals, you're protecting criminals. And intent does not negate consequences. It's like a little while ago, this lady got shot. She thought, I'm gonna be a jerk and I'm gonna try to run over this ICE person. And the ICE agent, he pulls out his gun, pop, 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 shoots her. Now, whichever side of the argument you are on, there are people who say, yeah, she got what she deserved, and there's people who say the ICE person is a murderer. Whichever side of the argument you are on, somebody's dead. Somebody is dead. That's how effective the marketing is. That's how effective these marketing people are at pulling you away from the wise mind and into the emotional mind. They were actually, their marketing was so effective that they actually got this person to put herself in a life and death situation where she was killed. She died as a result of the effectiveness of the political marketing. She made herself the best possible product for the politicians who use these marketing agencies. Okay, so whichever side of the argument you're on, somebody died because of the effectiveness of political marketing. And that's it right there. Okay, these political marketing people pulled her away from her wise mind. In her wise mind, she would be thinking, you know, I probably shouldn't do this. I've got kids. I've got responsibilities. I got to act like an adult. I have to, you know, show the kids that I'm raising that I'm mature and responsible and everything. So really, how about if I just, I'll take a sign and go, boo, you guys are jerks. And that's the extent. But no, she had to commit to an agenda that ultimately resulted in her death. So that is the effectiveness of marketing. Never become a product of marketing. That's what I'm saying. And this is, as a manufacturing engineer, I will be able to maintain people in the wise mind area. That's what I do, maintain the wise mind. This is not about motive. This is not an accusation of evil intent. It is an analysis of process failure. Action before analysis. When emotion precedes critical thinking, complex systems break, feedback loops are ignored, and risk increases. The role of government. Government exists to accomplish collectively what individuals cannot. The government is supposed to apply critical thinking at scale and manage risks and trade-offs. And this is what you see the ICE agents doing. The ICE agents, they're wearing all this armor. They're doing crowd control. They've got, you know, the canisters of tear gas and everything, and they try to do the crowd control and all that stuff. And this is because the government is trying to maintain the wise mind. Okay, I mean, logically speaking, the government would just go in there with 100,000 troops and just put everybody in jail and say, aha, we win. But that's not the way a constitutional republic needs to be. A constitutional republic needs to respect the beliefs of all of the people, no matter which side you're on. Okay, so yeah, that's. So we, the people of the United States, in order, I got it. This is the preamble to the Constitution. For a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty, ourselves and our posterity. Okay, so ensure domestic tranquility. That is what the ICE people are doing. That is one constitutional responsibility of government. Maintain public safety, remove criminal elements, and enforce the law consistently. Individual rights still matter. Individuals have the right to hold beliefs, protest, remain emotionally committed to causes. That's perfectly fine. The limit of an individual action. Individual belief cannot override lawful governance and cannot obstruct public safety, cannot negate due process. So I'll go back to this slide here. Remain emotionally committed to the causes, okay? And here's the thing. A long time ago, I worked with this person who said, okay, I will allow you to do this. It's like, no, it's not in your power to allow me to do something, because it's not in your power to not allow me to do something. I will do this because I want to do this. You know, it's my choice. I'm going to do this because it's something I want to do. You don't get to let me do it. You don't get to prevent me from doing it. It's not in your power. And the government's the same way. It's not in the government's power to prevent you from protesting, having an opinion, being a jerk, putting up a sign saying end fascism, whatever. So it's not really the government's power to allow you to do it. The government isn't allowing you to do it. The government is not standing in your way because the government isn't supposed to stand in your way. In a constitutional republic, the individual rights have to be respected. Okay, that's just, you know, that's where I'm at there. where the real problem lies. The problem is not stupidity. The problem is certainty without due diligence. And they're going back to what Mark Twain said. It's not what we don't know that causes the problems. It's what we absolutely know to be true. The dangerous assumption, the most dangerous assumption, I am exceptional, therefore I'm correct. And it's, you know, the mirror, not an accusation. If someone believes everyone else is stupid, only they see the truth. Self-examination is required. If you're one of these people, who looks at this meme and says, oh, the world is full of stupid people who are confident and intelligent people who aren't. I'm one of the intelligent people who isn't confident. You know what? Chances are pretty good you're not one of the exceptional people. Okay, because like I said, 95% of the people in the world are not exceptional. That's just the nature of exceptional is that you aren't one of them. I know I'm not exceptional. Okay, I mean, I've been an engineer for 35 years, and I can tell you I have made some pretty dumb mistakes. But the thing is, it's not how many dumb mistakes you've made, it's how much you've learned from your dumb mistakes. And I guarantee you, a lot of people have learned stuff from watching me make really dumb mistakes, okay? So it's just, that's just a fact right there, man. So, free society requires humility, critical thinking, willingness to question oneself. And that's what I bring. Like I said, keep people in the wise mind. My closing thought here is a well-run constitutional republic does not ask its people to abandon their humanity. It only asks us to pause long enough to think critically before acting. Yep, there's the raccoon of ended presentations. So, like I'm saying, what I am, who I am, I'm a weird old guy that likes haunted houses, and I've got a really cool kind of list of things on my Amazon wish list, okay? What I am is an organized person who understands the responsibilities of leadership, and a lot of people will say, hey, rank has its privileges. In the Marine Corps, what you learn very quickly is rank has its responsibilities. If you're the kind of person who craves responsibility, you will do well in the Marine Corps. And if you are the kind of person who craves responsibility, you should have a place in politics. You see, because politics, the most valuable commodity in the world is information. Politics is the profession of gathering and utilizing information. If you don't have character, if you regard leadership as just a way to get advantages, then you don't belong in politics because you're not going to represent people properly. If you realize that rank has its responsibilities, then you belong in politics, because information being the powerful commodity that it is, if it's used inappropriately, you can destroy a lot of lives. You could destroy a lot of people. You can do a lot of damage. I mean, you're going to come out rich, but all of the people that you take from, they're going to be much worse off. And that's not why you go to Washington. That's not what the American constitutional republic is all about. Our constitutional republic is about life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Okay, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is from our founding document, the Declaration of Independence. That's why we got the 4th of July. The Constitution is the framework, the process map that makes sure people have life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's what that's all about, okay? So that is the what I am. That is, you know, if you know, what kind of person is Tom Timbrooks? That's the kind of what that I am, okay? I'm a person who understands the dynamic of human feelings, logic, and emotion coming together to make the wise mind. That's what I am. I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I understand, you know, Democrats have got some really good ideas. I mean, I agree with a lot of the stuff that Barack Obama said years ago, and that's why I voted for him be president. So I also agreed with a lot of things that Bill Clinton said and did. And Ronald Reagan, one of America's greatest Republicans. There are so many Republicans who absolutely love Ronald Reagan. I found a lot of the things he did to be things I disagreed with. But, people are going to say, hey, he's Ronnie Reagan, so let's support everything he does. I'm like, no, you don't have to support everything a person does just because they are the leader of your party. And that's let me show you this next slide, okay? All right, so these are the things. President Trump for Nobel Peace Prize, Tulsi Gabbard for President 2028. Make America great again, yeah, but this is a slide I wanted to show you. I am not just a MAGA Republican. Yes, I want to make America great and wonderful, but I am a Make Oregon 6th Congressional District America's greatest congressional district Republican. I am a Mosque Dagda Republican, okay? That's what I am talking about there, okay? So I want to represent you in Congress because when I moved up to Oregon, like 6 years ago in 2019, yeah, it's 2019, it was about 6-7 years ago. I moved up here because I really love Oregon. It's a beautiful place, waterfalls, mountains, the beaches, the waves, all this stuff. I go out to the shoreline and I just listen to the tide all day long. Pacific City is a beautiful place and everything. I love the drive out there. Oregon is just one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I can't stand the idea that the people of Oregon are not getting the best possible government, because I want to stay here. I want to stay here for the rest of my life. I want to live here forever. And I want Oregon to be the best possible place that anybody can live in. Now, Democrats have got some great ideas. Republicans have got some great ideas. But the importance is those ideas cannot be due to memes or emotional thinking or purely logical thinking. Those ideas have to come from the wise mind, the marriage between the rational and emotional parts of the human psyche. Oh, I got a couple things down here that I wrote down. Cognitive bias, comparison steals joy. Okay, yeah, I did that. Working against your own benefit. Yeah, marketing professionals have you working against your own benefit. One of the reasons that the people are so against the ICE agents with the government control, back in the 1960s, what the government was doing, the local governments, they were ensuring that non-white people were kept down, were prevented from voting, prevented from going to school. There was segregation and all this stuff. The Ku Klux Klan was all over the place. And the local governments were supporting all these efforts, all of these unconstitutional things that go against America's promise for life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Okay? So the people who are protesting ICE, the people who are calling it fascism and everything, I don't want them really to go away. I may not like what they're doing or anything, but here's the thing. Those are the people who demand transparency of government. So I don't exactly hate them. I may not really agree with them completely, but that's a reason that we don't want to destroy their efforts. We want to encourage people to gather together, protest, and speak their minds, because ultimately that creates a need for transparency in government. So I may not agree with their methods, but the fact that they've got a lot of spirit, they've got a lot of heart, and they really, they want to keep America transparent, American government transparent. And if the paid protesters, if they're making a lot of money doing it, well, yeah, it's a paycheck, it's a job, whatever. You put it on your resume. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got for you there. So just remember, Here I am. I'm going to get. See, that's the same picture right there. I like that picture of me. So anyway, so yeah, my name is Tom Timbrooks, Thomas W. Timbrooks. I'm running for the United States House of Representatives over there in Washington, D.C. for Oregon 6th Congressional District for the Republican Party. I want you to vote for me, but mostly I want you to vote. Okay, so get out and vote, do your civic duty, vote for whoever you think is best. But you know, when you do vote, just vote for the person that entertains your wise mind. Try to walk away from the logical, walk away from the emotional, concentrate, focus on the wise mind. And that, you know, that will put you on the right side of history. So thank you very much for listening, and take care.